Welcome back to the smartest year ever, our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalist. My name is Gordy, and I was just wondering, what is the most remote, lonely place on Earth, and why do we crash spaceships there? Like and subscribe right now if you haven't, so you can keep up every single day. I do this every single day. This is the last day in May. Let's do it. Imagine falling off a ship in the most remote point in the ocean, a spot so isolated that no matter which direction you swim, you're the farthest away you can possibly be from land. That's Point Nemo, the ultimate long swim challenge. Point Nemo is the most remote spot in the ocean, literally the middle of nowhere. It is known as the oceanic pole of inaccessibility, the point in the Pacific Ocean that's the farthest from any landmass. How far, you may ask? Well, about 1,450 miles in every direction. So it is so isolated, and this is cool, that the closest humans to Point Nemo are usually the astronauts orbiting overhead on the International Space Station. Yeah, it's like depending on the time of day, that means space, like the astronauts on the ISS are technically closer to Point Nemo than any other human on Earth. Point Nemo was named after Captain Nemo from Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the mysterious captain of the submarine Nautilus. And it's a fitting name for the place that's basically a void in the ocean with little marine life, almost no shipping traffic, and nowhere to go but down. But that emptiness has a purpose. Because Point Nemo is so far from everything, it's become a spacecraft graveyard. When old satellite space stations or rocket stages are decommissioned, they're sent to crash into this desolate patch of ocean far from shipping lanes and populated areas. Over 100 spacecraft have ended their missions there, including Russia's Mir space station and over 260 satellites. But that's not the only weird thing about Point Nemo. Back in 1997, scientists picked up a bizarre underwater sound that they thought was relatively close to Point Nemo. And it turns out it's hard to know where the sound originates when you're so far away from everything. But the sound ended up being dubbed the bloop. And it was so loud and low pitched that some scientists thought it was a massive sea creature or something like that, like something way bigger than a blue whale. And I covered that back on February 4th, so go check out that episode for more. But the short version is it wasn't a sea monster. It was likely the sound of an ice quake, a chunk of ice breaking off an Antarctic glacier and crashing into the sea. Still creepy, though, if you think about it, just like those underwater sounds, like permeating the ocean for a very long time. It's just something eerie about that, like megalophobic idea of something that large and intense. But yeah, that really ended up having nothing to do with Point Nemo, like as they first thought. So what would you actually find at Point Nemo then, right? So it would be a spacecraft graveyard, like some eerie underwater sounds, and not much else. It's as close as you can get to nowhere on Earth, a place where space debris goes to die, essentially. But I think it's super cool because I'm like, has anyone ever dove down? Are there any pictures of anything down there? Like, people barely ever even go there. It's so remote. It's so far from everything. You have to really be committed to go out and see nothing. But it'd be so fascinating to see images of the underwater satellites and the underwater space debris. That would be so cool. So I'll be following along to know when that day arrives, because I would love to freaking see some images. I bet those would be absolutely haunting. I love seeing underwater photography, or that thalassophobia, the idea of, or submechanophobia rather, the idea of how things look so creepy and eerie, large structures when they're underwater. But hey, so there you have it. Point Nemo, the loneliest place on Earth, makes you wonder what else might be lurking out there. And thank you to all my sources, which can be found in the YouTube description. Please leave me a comment, follow, rate, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who likes this sort of thing. Share it with your son named Nemo. I don't know, at Smartest Year Ever on all social media, so go check out the 1-minute version that I do, and I post that all across all socials. Stay curious and stay clever in the meantime on our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalist. I will see you tomorrow in June. Thanks for spending May with me. Let's go to June tomorrow in the smartest year ever. Gotta go in tomorrow.